Hey Hunters, Happy New Year. Just thought I'm going to jump on and do a quick update video because stuff is happening at such speed I can't even keep up, but I'm just gonna update you. I'm gonna update you about the Thunderstorm Generator, mainly about that. If you don't know what the Thunderstorm Generator is, make sure that you watch my last video before this one, otherwise you'll be like, what are you talking about? But essentially, in a nutshell, it is a new piece of technology that is currently going through rigorous independent testing because the apparatus, the machine, the generator is something that you can retrofit onto an engine, like a car engine or an industrial engine, and it can reduce the emissions, the CO2 emissions, the carbon monoxide emissions, and it can increase the oxygen output. So essentially you can kind of turn an exhaust pipe into an oxygen generator, essentially. And it uses plasmoid technology. If you don't know what a plasmoid is, give it a bit of a Google. There is lots of new information and study that is coming out about plasmoids, so you know what. Okay, there's so much to pack in. Now, to kick things off, some exciting news. This week, Nature has published a peer-reviewed paper called Water Can Trigger Nuclear Reaction to Produce Energy and Isotope Gases. This paper reports the discovery that water can trigger a peculiar nuclear reaction and produce energy. Cavitation may induce unusual reactions through implosion of water vapor bubbles. Keep that in mind. We've conducted experiments using two reactor types made from multiple pipe heat exchanger and found that the heat exchange process of water produces peculiar excess heat and abnormally high pressure, leading to the rupture of the reactor. Bum, 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 bum. And then we go down to the conclusion. Skip past all of the astronomically hard maths. Cavitation may induce implosion of water vapor bubbles using various techniques. In the previous study, we found that the heat exchange process in multiple pipe heater produces anomalous excess heat and nuclear transmutation. Now, even though this paper is not directly reporting on anything to do with the Thunderstorm Generator, it is connected in terms of explaining the science that the Thunderstorm Generator has and the reactions inside and what's involved and so on and so forth. So it's good to keep an eye. It's also very exciting because it shows that if we can possibly have chemical transmutation, changing of chemicals, using water, and we can have like nuclear level reactions happening using water pressure, sound waves, and so on and so forth. I mean, this to me seems to link very well with a lot of the questions that are brought up when looking at the ancient world and going, why are all these ancient sites that we see, like the pyramid sites and the ancient sites, why are they all to do with water? Why are they all to do with water pressures, getting water in and out of the vicinity, being built on top of water sources, aquifers? Are they connected? We have all of the history and the lore about alchemy in ancient Egypt and the transmutation of chemicals and elements. Were they able to tap it? Are we retapping into the science that has always been on Earth, that we can forge these reactions with relatively low tech experiments? So in a nutshell, I'm seeing the science that we're talking about in the Thunderstorm Generator being published in peer-reviewed studies, and it's exciting to see. A plasmoid is essentially a piece of plasma, a blob of plasma. You know, plasma like makes up like 90% of the universe, because we've got solids, liquids, gases, and then gases can turn into plasma. A plasmoid is like a blob of plasma that has like a self-contained magnetic field, and it can kind of go off and do its own thing. And plasmoids are very integral in ball lightning. And if you don't know what ball lightning is, also Google that. It's like a known phenomenon in science. And ball lightning is essentially at the very core of the plasmoid generator. It using ionized water that you sort of put through a bubbler, and then you make it bubble, 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 and then the bubbles go small. The bubbles create these plasmoids, and then the plasmoids cause a chemical reaction inside the thunderstorm generator, very much like a storm storm cloud, when you've got hot air and cold air and it's spinning in a vortex. Very, very similar. The tech is like so ridiculously almost simple, and it mirrors a lot of stuff that happens in nature. And then we get something called a fractal toroidal moment, which again, the structural pattern of it is very much a yin yang structure, where on one side of the reaction you've got matter being ripped out of existence, and on the other side, in the yin and the yang, you've got matter being deposited. Literally a chemical transmutation. Stuff is happening, serious transmutation of chemicals, changing of chemicals is happening inside the Thunderstorm Generator, which is why you can change carbon essentially into oxygen. And there is now proof, as in evidential, factual data proof, that this is happening inside the Thunderstorm Generator. Previously, it could only be speculated. They cut open one of the spheres. The Thunderstorm Generator, one of the major components of it is that it is a sphere within a sphere. It's like a ball within a ball made of stainless steel, which is where all of the plasmoids come into the center. That's where the reaction's happening. And they basically got permission to cut one of these spheres open. The Thunderstorm Generator, this one had been a prototype for 8 years, so a lot of time to build up a lot of reactions. And when they cut the sphere open, I was literally there. I was part of the team that was able to film and photograph inside this sphere when it was opened up, and we could see that all the inside was covered in like this kind of crystal substance. Didn't know what it was, but it was very sparkly to the human eye. And then when we put the magnifying cameras on, we could see that the entire bit of the stainless steel, the inside of the outside and the outside of the inside of the both spheres, if you get what I mean, was absolutely pummeled with these like tiny holes. Like millions and millions of explosions had happened inside this generator. You could physically see something was going on. It's not just a case of water and air being pushed around a machine, because that's what a lot of people, very rightly so, are very skeptical of the machine, and we're like, well, purely that looks like it's very much like a GEAT machine. Now, if you don't know what a GEAT machine is, it was a similar sort of similar contraption that was invented a couple of years ago, maybe a decade ago. Thunderstorm Generator is not the GEAT machine, and it is when you understand how the Thunderstorm Generator works with the sphere within the sphere. That is the whole sphere within a sphere element, the whole plasmoid ball lightning element. It's not part of the GEAT machine. So it is two entirely separate bits of technology that happen to look a bit like each other because they've got sort of boxes and pipes. But essentially, why is it exciting? It's exciting because they cut the sphere open. They cut the big sphere open. We could see inside with the magnifying. And then what happened is Bob Greer, who is, he runs a YouTube channel, I'm going to link it below, the Fleischmann Memorial Project, Martin Fleischmann Memorial Project. Gosh, Johanna, talk, I'm just so excited. So he was able to, Malcolm Bendall gave full permission to fully experiment and scan and have a look at exactly what this crystal substance was. Let's really look under the microscope at what this pummeling what's happening inside this machine. Gave Bob all the permission, literally shipped Bob samples of the original sphere. Bob went and put it under an SEM, which stands for Scanning Electron Microscope. So you can see stuff at like, I think it's like times 400 or like 400 million. Or it's very, very, very high tech camera. And what he found was incredibly exciting. I'm just going to say here that this is a very, very minimal 101 description of what he found. If you want a more in-depth scientific explanation for what happened, make sure you go and follow Jordan at Alchemical Science, because he's done a fantastic video. So basically, I spoke to Jordan, I'm copying his homework, and he's copying Bob Greenier's homework, and that's how we all know about this. But anyway, the evidence. So Bob has found, after putting it through the SEM machine, Bob found and could locate a lot of very cool substances that literally prove that there is a chemical transmutation taking place inside the Thunderstorm Generator with ball lightning, because the chemicals that he found, in the shapes that they are, with the spheres and the crystals, and it all lines up with previous scientific documentation about ball lightning experiments, and it's proof of what's going on inside. I'm going to put up some slides so you can see the amazing photography of what's going on inside this thunderstorm generator. It literally cannot be just water and bubbles, you know, blowing around and cooling that's not what is happening here. Categorically, that is not what's happening here. So people, if you were sort of on the fence, if you were a little bit skeptical about what was going on, this is really, really irrefutable evidence of it is irrefutable evidence of transmutation of elements and chemicals going on. There is a big scientific reaction happening in here, and can't be denied at this point. The stainless steel sphere, the inside and the outside of the double sphere, there's a sphere within a sphere, remember? They did a little calculation of just how many holes are there in the surface, how many little pummels. This is where the ball lightning and the plasmoid has struck the inside of each of the spheres. And they calculate conservatively at about 4 quadrillion 650 million or billion, probably billion, of those intersection sites of where the ball lightning has struck. That is a heck of a lot of ball lightning going on in one little sphere. Iron and oxygen spheres with a little bit of carbon. Iron, calcium and sulfur. So what does this mean? This basically points to the evidence of the magnetic core of the plasmoid. I think because the plasmoids are literally imploding, and they're doing this toroidal moment and causing this reaction, sucking matter from one side, exploding it out on the other, and you're left with these sort of like spherical, mini little balls, which was the core of the plasmoid has now been sort of thrown away. Goodbye, don't need you anymore. We've done what we need to do. We can die a death. Iron with nickel, calcium and sulfur. There is even, which is very exciting, a fusion of titanium just going on inside this generator, which you get from oxygen and carbon. And remember, when we're testing these the engines that have the Thunderstorm Generator attached to it, first you do a base test and you test the engine with nothing attached to it, and then you test it at every single stage of attaching every single part of the Thunderstorm Generator. So you've got the bubbler and the ionizing chamber and the actual sphere generator. You attach it all part by part and you test it all the way up, and you test it with 2 machines at the same time, so that you can then compare the answer, so you're not just trusting one machine for the answer, which I think is also very good. They also use machines that have fraud protection on, so they shut off every 10 minutes, so you can't pre-program them in any way, because the machines literally just factory reset every 10 minutes, which is also good, in case you're wondering that people are like hamming the numbers. And I've seen it with my own eyes. I've been to visit many a test now of the Thunderstorm Generator, and I've seen this happen. And as far as I can see, I can't work out how somebody would fudge this. I can't work out how they would fake this. Also, it's not just London where they're testing it. They're testing it in different continents. So we've got a team in Germany. There's a separate independent team in Germany who have taken the generator and they've taken it apart, put it back together, and they're putting it through rigorous independent testing. And their test results have now come back, and they're going to go public. And they have positively confirmed that yes, it works. And the team in Germany, again, Malcolm Bendel, who is the inventor, he's not with the team in Germany. There is also a team in America and a team in, I want to say Australia. Is that where the other one is? Anyway, they're independent ones. So they're independent testings. And it's interesting because all the testings are coming back with round and about the same results, which is that oxygen, while using this machine, the oxygen coming out of the exhaust pipe, there we go, the emissions coming out of the exhaust, huge. They pretty much eliminate carbon monoxide coming out of that I've seen on all of the tests. The carbon monoxide really goes down to like literally 0.1 1%. It's gone. And then carbon dioxide goes down significantly, like conservatively 40%, but I've seen results be way better than that, like up to 70%. As someone who's just investigating this, I'm just relaying what I've seen and what I've found. I spoke to one of the members of the team, the scientist in Germany, who's doing the testing, and he was so amazed and said that from their point of view, the whole experience of being able to test the machines rigorously, independently, away from the inventor. He said that normally the inventors can be quite protective, and they really want to sort of micromanage or make sure that they are there or observe when teams are independent testing. But he said that it's been great because they've just been left alone to do this, and Malcolm's not been present, and he was completely trusting and was like, here's my instructions, that's how it will work if you assemble it in this order exactly, and do exactly this and this, then this is how this works. Great. So they were super excited, and they were super excited by the results because for them, they got the machine to work. There was the India Smart Tech Conference, which was held in India, and Malcolm and the team took a test engine, brand new test engine, and a Thunderstorm generator over to do like a live showcase. And that was really interesting because a lot of the major top advanced techie guys in India were able to see it and crawl all over it and understand it, and it impressed the Indian scientific community that much that the Indian Navy have just announced that they are going to be officially independently testing it and looking into it. So it is moving far beyond out of the realm of people just being able to go, oh, it's a pseudoscience, this and that. No, it's moved way past that now. We've got independent countries, independent continents testing this, all getting the same, if not incredibly similar results. It works, positive results, and I'm getting really super excited because the implications of this technology working is so amazing. It means that we could use fossil fuels for hundreds of years. There's about 300 years of fossil fuels for the UK. We could run the entire country off coal for 300 years. But we can't use coal because of the CO2 implications and all of the legislation and the laws. And right now in England, we're being told that we have to switch to an electronic by the year 2035. I think they just moved it to. Nobody can buy a petrol gasoline car. Everything has to be electric, which actually, when you look into it, electric cars aren't that eco, because of the lithium batteries involved, and also the fact that we are just not prepared to have an entire country run off the electricity grid of electric vehicles. It turns out to not be that make much sense. So it would be exciting if we could use and reuse old cars. I think that would make much more economical sense and ecological sense if we can reuse old cars and convert them into something that doesn't emit all the horrible nasties, that they can be within the regulation of emissions regulations. This is way more exciting for me. I'm 100% going to put this on my car the first chance I get to put a generator on my car. I'm going to do it because not only that, but it also extends the life of your petrol, of your gas. So that's sort of like the secondary benefit of the Thunderstorm generator. Is not only is it reducing the carbon, but it also extends the life of your petrol, and like up to like 50% more, I've heard. So again, making stuff cheaper for us to run, cheaper for the environment. We're using less fuel. There. So that's why I'm so excited about this, because so far it's passing go every time it's going round the Monopoly board at the moment, and I'm very excited about it. So make sure you check out Jordan and Bob's work in detail, because the proof is literally in the pudding. and it's very exciting. I'm very excited. Right, a little bit of housekeeping. New year, new me. No, exactly the same old me, and we're gonna keep doing this because it's fun. But what is happening this year is Cosmic Summit 2024. If you came to Cosmic Summit 2023, it was honestly the most geekiest, nerdiest, fun weekend ever. We got to all go and hang out in this beautiful hotel in North Carolina. My brain was literally blowing up from the amount of information I learned. There was 14 speakers over the weekend, all from slightly different sides, but all looking at cosmic catastrophes and ancient civilizations. And so yeah, this year it's back, but it's changed location. We've upgraded to an even bigger and better hotel. So now we can fit, I think before we could only fit about 500 people in the auditorium. This time we've upgraded so that we can fit about 4,000. It's literally huge. We've also expanded the weekend. So there's going to be the Friday, no it's not, there's going to be a Friday night party, which where all the speakers are going to be at, so we get to mingle with you before, because last time we realized that we really do need like a kind of D-Day party when we get there, so that we can mingle, talk ancient stuff, and then get ready for the Saturday. So then we've got Saturday and Sunday, which is going to be back to back. There's going to be 2 tracks of speakers. So if you're not quite into someone who's speaking, you've got options about where to go. There's going to be a huge area of like merch stands and more information, and people are going to have tables and signing stuff, and you can buy t-shirts and stuff. And then on the Monday we are going to have like workshops and classrooms. I think Randall's staying. I think Malcolm Bendel's been invited. So if you want to have a look at this Thunderstorm Generator, I'm pretty sure Malcolm's going to bring one to Cosmic Summit on the workshop day on the Monday. He's not speaking at the actual Cosmic event as such. But yeah, it's going to be absolutely amazing. So if you want to come, tickets are now on sale. I'm going to put a link down below. If you use my code, then that particularly helps me, because I've got like an affiliate link. So if you would like to help support the channel in that way, it doesn't cost you anything, but it helps me. That would be amazing. So I'll put a little trailer in now for you, actually. Have a little look at that.
Heresy is a cradle. Orthodoxy, a coffin.
What if the story was based on something that was completely true?
And we're gonna rock this weekend. We're gonna have a tremendous intellectual festival. The most intensely curious audience in the world. And what does curiosity produce? It produces new information, and new information produces enlightenment. And that's where we're all heading, and you're at the absolute vanguard of that process. Do you want to explore suppressed ideas supported by hard published data? Then this is your home.
Let's do this.
And you are the Cosmic Summit.
Right. I'm going to love you and leave you, because I think that was a lot, but I wanted to update you on what was going on, because, I mean, it's very exciting. And I will be back with you soon. It's kicking off. Stuff is kicking off this year, 2024. What is going to come out of the gate this year that we're going to be like, oh my God. It's very exciting. People are like, why are you so into ancient history? Nothing changes. I'm like, everything changes. Every bloody month there's something coming out. Something's being discovered. Yeah. I'm really bad at saying goodbye. Right, I'll see you next time. Go on, off you go. Go for a little walk. You've sat down for a long time now. All right, happy hunting. Bye-bye.